As his loved ones entered the third week of their hunt, Jay Slater is still missing. While vacationing for a 3-day music festival with friends in the isolated rural Latino section of Tenerife, the 19-year-old apprentice bricklayer appeared to vanish on June 17. The teenager tried to walk 11 hours on foot to his lodging after leaving his friends to go to a peaceful Airbnb early in the morning with 2 other British partygoers. Before Spanish police formally ended their active search on June 30, Jay's phone last made contact with someone in the mountainous area close to the municipality of Amasca. With the assistance of 54-year-old Mark Williams Thomas, a former British police investigator, his family and friends have remained on the island and have continued to search for the missing British national. In a social media update yesterday, the former Met police officer, who has been investigating several high-profile cases involving missing persons, said he had spoken with Ayub Qasim, 31, one of the men Jay returned to the rented villa with. After speaking with Mr. Qasim, Mark provided new details regarding Jay's last moments. In this article, the Mirror examines every new detail we now know about Jay's morning, hour by hour, from the moment he left the Strip until his phone died. 6 a.m. Leave the Strip early on Monday morning. Jay was having fun on the Playa de las Americas Strip. Later, he and 2 other partygoers, including Mr. Qasim, departed in a rental car to return to their Airbnb close to the isolated village of Masca. Jay was last spotted carrying a black bag and sporting a gray sports jersey with a light green stripe along the shoulders. We know that shortly before 6 a.m. on Monday, June 7, Jay left the area of Veronica Strip in Las Americas in a seat Leon hire car with 2 males casually known to him, stated Detective Mark, who had already corroborated the timings. The 3 of them made a stop for refreshments en route to the rental house, which would have required around 45 minutes of driving time. Jay may have misplaced his hotel room keys, which would explain why he left with the 2 of them. The Sun claims that Jay sent Mr. Qasim a message in which he bemoaned losing his key. But according to his uncle Glenn Duncan, that wouldn't be sufficient to motivate Jay to go so far. The fact that he came out and said all of his friends had left him and he had nowhere to go. He was only 10 minutes from his Los Cristianos flat. He added to the Sun, he is not a moron. Had he not had a room key, he might have obtained one from reception. Mr. Qasim claims that Jay returned to Casa Abu Latina, the Airbnb, because his buddies had already abandoned him and left early. Yesterday, the TV investigator revealed new information on his social media accounts. He stated, Qasim said he was on the trip. Jay wanted to carry on partying, and he said he had nowhere to stay, so he said he could come back to his. They talked and listened to music in the car, stopping just before the mountains to grab a drink at a cafe. Jay was in the rear, his friend was in the passenger seat, and Qasim was behind the wheel. 7 a.m. Gets to Airbnb. His pal went to sleep right away after arriving at the rental, opening the door and turning left. Jay and Qasim trailed in behind. They headed upstairs. Mark remarked. Ayub handed Jay a blanket and towel and said, the sofa's for you there. He also instructed him to take a shower anytime he felt like it. Detective Mark went on. Ayub stated, I've got some Camel cigarettes, and put one on the side when Jay also asked for a smoke. Subsequently, Jay requested a charger and, as Qasim's friend was sleeping, entered his room to get the device. Jay sent his last photo on Snapchat of himself smoking a cigarette outside the house at around 7:30 a.m. After 30 minutes, he made up his mind to depart from the villa and head back to his lodging. 8 a.m. Departs Airbnb. Jay discussed the bus schedule with a local woman at about 8 in the morning. According to Ophelia Medina Hernandez, the woman, Jay had inquired about buses from the rental home back to Los Cristianos. She told Mail Online. She told him that the next bus would arrive at 10 a.m. in 2 hours, but she wasn't sure if he understood. I held up my fingers on my hands to say 10 a.m. As he didn't understand me, then I went home briefly before driving up the mountain to Buena Vista del Norte. But this time I saw him walking on the road out of the village. She recalled. He was roughly a kilometer away from the house, and it had only been 10 or 15 minutes since I had spoken to him. The last time I saw him, I was driving by him. At the bus stop, Mr. Costin observed Jay conversing with the woman. A man and lady motioned to him that he needed to move his automobile as the